Nice. Hey guys, this is Jen with Mike's Camera. I have Joel here from OM Systems, and he's here to show us the new OM-5 Mark II.
Yes, thank you for having me. Looking forward to sharing this with all of you. So we just introduced on Tuesday the new OM-5 Mark II. I was fortunate enough to snag one of the new versions of this camera, which is a color that we just introduced. And lo and behold, here it is. This is the Sand Beige OM-5 Mark II. Very excited about this camera in general, but this color is definitely catching a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Where did you guys come up with the color concept for that?
That's a great question. So our brand is definitely about being outdoors and part of the nature, and the Sand Beige definitely falls within that category. A bright pink wouldn't have done so well for us.
Aw, really? I would buy a bright pink.
Right. Not this time around. Maybe next one.
So who is the OM-5 for?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of photographer would be good for this camera?
So OM-5 Mark II is definitely for that user photographer that wants to get out and carry lightweight gear. They don't want to be boggled down by a tripod, massive amount of lenses, and heavy battery packs. So this camera is definitely designed for that person that wants to throw it on their backpack or in their backpack, along with a lens or two. With our 1.8 lenses, our new 25mm 1.8, it's 500 grams, which is extremely lightweight.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't even feel it in your bag.
That's great.
Yeah.
Lighter helps a lot
Exactly.
more, especially with like hikes. And
Yeah. I mean, you with our product, you never want to get to a point of saying, and maybe not so much our product, but just in general with photography, like, oh, that's really heavy, I'm just going to leave it home, and miss out on all the lovely photography opportunities.
Exactly, especially when traveling.
Right.
When you gotta check things through airports and stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
And we also heard that this is weather sealed, and the durability about it. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah. So OM Systems definitely designed for the outdoors. Our entire product line is all about getting out, lightweight, compact, and weather sealed. So this particular model is actually IP53 certified, which is extensive processing that we go through with the company to certify it at that level. There's various levels of what those numbers mean, but IP53 is definitely a strong weather sealing to go out and shoot in the environment. We are one of two camera manufacturers that do that, and it does come at an additional cost for us, but we're willing to stamp that on our product that says go out and shoot it in the environment, which definitely gets you back to that question that I just answered earlier was, are you going to take your gear out with you if it's raining? Some of the most beautiful opportunities are when the environment is very dramatic.
It's true. Very true. The sunrises or sunsets, like you never know
exactly
what the weather's going to be like.
Right.
Cool. So when they're looking for like a weatherproof camera, they should look for IP53, huh?
Yeah, anything that's certified, and there's different figures within the IP ratings. Most of our stuff, our 1 and 5 are IP53, and our OM3 as well.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Can you tell me about the computational photography features?
Yeah. So OM System is known for a lot of our computational features that we put into our various cameras. This particular camera does have quite a few of them built into it, and there's live composite, there is neutral density filters built in, and there is multiple exposure built into this one now. What we have also done with this particular OM-5 Mark II is we actually added a dedicated computational photography button to it, similar to what we did with our OM-3. This now you can access those features immediately rather than going through the menu.
Ooh.
Which is a really, really great feature on the 5 versus saying, okay, what do I do with the menu? It's push the button and lock it in.
Is the button like on the top there?
Yep, right there.
Okay.
Yep, CP.
A little CP button at the top. That's awesome. That's a lot easier. I was going to ask, like, is it easy to find these buttons, like wherever we could find the filter options?
Right. And the last thing we want to do is we're engulfed into electronic devices all day long, right? So going through menus it gets tiring. So actually creating that experience with the actual dials.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and there's, is there more dials on this thing than normal?
Yeah.
Too?
So, well, the same amount of dials on the top as our original OM-5, which is the automatic settings, of course, and then we do have some scene modes, as well as our art modes. And art modes allow you to alter the color and change various things of the image, all preset. And then there is a custom mode as well, and then the traditional manual shutter priority, aperture priority, and programmable.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's this? Because this one's shutter, right?
Yeah.
The black is shutter, and then there's a silver button below it.
So you have 2 control wheels. So depending on which function or mode you're in, you can actually change your shutter speed or aperture.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, very fancy.
Yes.
I like it. I like it. I haven't gotten to play with it yet, so I'm curious. So what would you think is the battery life on this camera?
Yeah, similar to the original OM-5, you should roughly get about 500 shots per charge. Obviously, there's a lot of factors that come in there. If you're shooting all video, if you're using the viewfinder, if you're reviewing, if you're editing, if you're using some of the computational features that will affect it. But I like to be, vague and say roughly about 500 shots.
Cool. Yeah. Is this camera compatible with, the other lenses, accessories, the original OM-5? Or?
Yeah. So our mount system is the Micro Four Thirds mount, which any of our lenses that are M43 mount will fit onto this camera as well. So you have the whole plethora of lens selection that we have available. Now, that goes for small little wide angles all the way up to our super 150 to 600 lens.
Nice.
Yeah, very small compact with those lenses attached.
Yeah, with the bigger lenses, probably need a tripod, right? Or a monopod?
Yes and no. So it will depend on the user. So a lot of people, for the 150 to 600, as an example, it has such great image stabilization. The only reason they'd want a tripod is if they're going to be doing a lot of extended shooting. My personal opinion, though, is the versatility with the image stabilization in the cameras as well as the lenses, the freedom of doing this, right? If there is a beautiful bird up on the perch here and your tripod's over here, it's hard to either swivel or pick up the whole tripod and point out.
That's true.
So the mobility of our product, with our technology of the stabilization.
That's true.
Yeah, which
pretty stabilized, huh?
Absolutely, which definitely helps. Not the best thing for the our partners because we don't promote tripods for them, but yeah, we defeat. That's the whole back to that point, right? If you have to carry a tripod around with you,
yeah.
Do I even want to bother bringing the camera?
Right. What else comes with the camera here? Can you show us what's in the box?
So there's a few different options on this particular camera. The OM-5 Mark II in the sand beige will only be available as a body only. We will not have lenses and a kit for you. This particular camera will also be a short supply due to the demand of it. Within the other variants that we have, we also will have it in a solid black finish as well as a silver finish. And both of those will be available as a body only, or else you can get them with a 12 to 45 f4, which is a Pro Series lens, very beautiful, or the new kit that we put together for this is the 14 to 150, which is an all-in-one package. So for that customer that's just looking to go out and grab the camera with the all-in-one lens, that's perfect for them. It's definitely designed like a powerful point-and-shoot camera, but with the ability of interchanging the lenses. And the unfortunate part that can happen is with the point and shoot, you outgrow it quite fast because you want more. So getting customers into a 14 to 150 will give them the equivalent of 28 to 300 millimeters, which is a lot in a very small package.
It's a lot.
And it's weather sealed as well.
Even better. Yeah. Plus you can probably always add to it too, different lenses.
Right. And that's kind of what happens with certain cameras is they'll have functions and features in them of portrait mode, and depending on the lens that's attached, you might not get the result of a portrait look. And so with our amazing lens selection, they could come back to a Mike's camera and pick up a 25 millimeter 1.8 and then blur that background out and get into doing their children's portraits or whatever.
That's true. Yeah, that would be a good portrait lens.
25.
Yep.
Yeah, which is the equivalent on our system of a 50 millimeter.
even though it's pretty wide at
Yeah.
25.
Yep. Yep.
What else comes in? Does it come with a battery?
It does come with the battery and with the USB-C cable.
Okay.
That is
Charge
included
it up.
as well. And then, of course, a neck strap.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fancy neck strap, huh?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Alrighty. Cool. Well, thank you so much for showing us this awesome new camera.
Of course. Thank you for having me, and looking forward to what we can show our customers at Mike's Camera Discount.
Yes, us too. Yeah. Thanks for joining in, guys.
All right, thank you.